Hello dear tape friends. It's been a while since I'm playing with the Nakamichi BX300E deck. It's a new deck for me. And while doing some calibration and some tests, I've discovered something that totally changed my perception on decks and how to choose a deck for your needs. Okay, let's get into it. Let's have a quick look. I've calibrated the Type 2 deck on this tape. Let's have a quick look. I'm sending now 15,000 Hertz with the function generator, so I was just checking the bias response on different tapes. So we are at 15,000 Hertz. This is source, this is tape. For sure, if we check the voltages here on both channels, or if we use our multimeter, we will clearly find some differences, and it will need to be fine-tuned, but let's say this is calibrated for this kind of tape. Okay, let's try a different one. Let's try the SA. Source, tape. It seems it just needs a little bias tuned to get the level correct. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, let's try a different brand. I'm expecting to see big differences here. Different brand, different type formulation. We are source tape. Behaves almost like the TDK. Regarding the bias level, it needs just a little tune to get it perfectly right. Anyway, nothing out of the ordinary. I'm not used with this deck. I'm always pushing pause instead of stop. I've told you this deck is new for me. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary till this moment. I've bought several cassettes like this. I never seen one of these and I found them interesting, and I thought, why not, let's just buy them and use them in my TC-D5, also in my WM-D6C. I think they look nice, and playing the cassette with the door open. Anyway, it's a thing that I like. You might dislike this tape, but that's not important. Thing is, I was trying to see how this tape responds to the bias. We have source. Look at this. I'm not speaking about the level. I'm speaking about the huge azimuth problem we have. But let's assume the tape is bad. Let's try a different one. Same thing. The tape itself does not show any signs of problems. So we have a big problem with this this tape. And the conclusion I've got while spending some hours on the internet trying to see what will be the deck that will fit me best. Everybody was just speaking. Everybody. The majority of the people were just picking a deck by the wow and flutter capabilities, and in my opinion that doesn't matter too much. I also have a Marantz, something similar to this one. It's a PM, I think 430, 420, something like this. Also a 2-head, not a 3-head version. Anyway, the wow and flutter on that thing is something like 0.14 or 15. and that a lot of people will consider it to be trash. I don't hear any major problems. The unit itself sounds very nice. I can compare it with this one or even with this one in play. So the wow and flutter, in my opinion, doesn't affect the phase, doesn't affect the bias setting in a big way. So that, in my opinion, is not very important. You will need to have external level and bias calibrator, also with the function generator included. If you don't have an oscilloscope with the function generator, even nowadays the new ones are very affordable. Also the old ones, a decent oscilloscope you can buy for some hundreds of euro or dollars or something like this. But if you don't want to have an oscilloscope and to calibrate the deck each time for a different tape, you should buy a deck that has calibration for level and bias. But most important thing I consider now is having a deck that has calibration for azimuth. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if the wow and flutter is 0.1, but if you don't have the azimuth adjustment and you just send a deck to be calibrated, okay, it's got calibrated, you find a nice set of tapes, you say, why not, let's try them, maybe it will need some small bias tune, some level adjustment, but it should sound decent. But, as I've seen here, that azimuth problem, I don't think it will get a correct result. I'm not saying it will do that on all the tapes, but if you don't know what's the problem with it, you will say the tape is trash, and for sure it is not. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment and to correct me if I said something wrong, but I think I tend to keep my opinion when you are choosing a deck. If you don't have an oscilloscope, you can get it to be calibrated, but if you are using a different tape on it, you will not get the best results. So if you are buying a deck for recording, I'm not speaking about playing tapes, have it with external calibration for bias, level, and most important, in my opinion, it will be the azimuth. Thanks.